Happy Thursday, hot news everybody. Welcome back to the latest tech news that you're gonna find out on the interwebs. We have Nvidia guys, the worst situation of GPUs isn't even here yet. Then MSI doesn't know how to make good looking motherboards, and Porsche decides that it's time to make things a little cheaper. Let's get into that after we talk about today's video sponsor. The chirp wheel is something that I use daily for stretching my back and making sure that my back feels as good as it can be, and I'm as spry as a spring chicken as opposed to a fall chicken. As you can see, the Chirp Wheel Plus is a wheel that relieves back pain by massaging deeply into your muscles because it fits between your shoulder blades and features a spinal canal, which keeps your spine safe. It helps to correct poor posture, it elongates your spine, and increases your back's mobility and core strength. It's also a Class 1 FDA registered medical device, and you can use your FSA and HSA savings in order to purchase one in case that interests you. It comes in 3 different sizes, and they all have different use cases, and it can support up to 500 pounds. And right now for a New Year sale, Chirp has $10 off on all orders on their site. So check it out at the link in the video description. Make your back feel better with this. I've actually been surprised by the response to this ad. We've had so many people sign up for it. It's been insane. So thank you guys for supporting Chirp. If you've been on the fence, maybe instead get on the wheel. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. If you thought that the GPU situation wasn't bad enough, well, I have. Nvidia is planning on reintroducing the RTX 2060 and 2060 Super, according to sources over at overclocking.com. This means that they cannot produce the 30 series effectively enough since their launch back in October, enough that they can't get away from the RTX 20 series, a card that launched in 2018. Mind you, 2019 is when the 2060 came out. Anyways, this is rough. This is bad. And in case you thought that they were reintroducing them at cheaper prices, well, my friend, you don't know Nvidia very well at all, do ya? Turns out the 2060 is going to cost €300, and the 2060 Super will be at €400, which means that the Super will be more expensive than the 3060, which likely indicates that the 3060 won't have enough stock that makes sense for them to make the 2060 Super, and people will be able to buy more of the 20 series. Did you think we'd be here in 2021 that the launch of Ampere would go so bad that they needed to reintroduce the previous generation in order to keep people from buying cards? And in a certain light of looking at this, it actually does make a little bit of sense, because one of the reasons that the market is so squeezed and so expensive right now is because the companies aren't able to make the brand new thing, but they also stop making the past thing. So people who need to buy graphics cards right now have really actually no options besides things that are currently being in production, which tend to be things like the GT 1010 or the RX 550, anything that's in the 5600 XT, GTX 1650. What we're finding is that those aren't at ample stock enough to make up for the fact that there aren't any new cards. So going back to the well of older cards that you are going to produce in the meantime might actually help mitigate some of this frustration that's going on. As much as I don't like it, as much as I don't want to see it, as much as it's super frustrating, Nvidia might be making the right move here. But it looks like MSI is making the move back to mining cards with an EEC filing coming out that there will be an RTX 3060 Ti mining card, as you can see right here. 8 gigs a miner and a miner OC is going to be what might come out, which means that all of these companies are seeing, yes, cryptocurrency mining is going up again. So we're going to get in on that, which again compounds on the whole fact that you just can't get any tech product right now. Doesn't look like it's going to get much better, but it looks like Valve's gotten better at not charging reasonable price differences and geo-blocking practices in the EU, and they've just been fined by the European Commission for that for €7.8 million. Now, I said that Valve has gotten better because this is for practices that were being done between 2010 and 2015, and they're being fined for those things. And Valve's response to this, they say that it's such a small number of games that this actually applies to that it's why are you coming after us, is the general sentiment that I got. Approximately 3% of all games, as well as the fact that they stopped this a long time ago. So for them to face fines at this point probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We'll keep you updated on this as it develops further. And it looks like Apple's M1 Macs are being developed further, especially by the community. Corellium, who you might remember just won a copyright lawsuit against Apple, has announced that they've gotten Linux working on M1 silicon. There's no GPU acceleration, but full advantage of the CPU is happening, so it's not in a quite usable state, but there is a image of the latest Ubuntu OS being worked on the M1 Max, so that's continuing to go, and MSI is just continuing to go in a million different directions. I thought with the launch of the more recent motherboards, it seemed like they understood what design aesthetic they were going for. It seemed like they knew how to make something that was good looking despite previous attempts, and despite red and black being their color scheme all the way up till 2018, they decided to launch the Z590 Gaming Force, which is just, what are those? This works for some people, this may work in some builds, but what is this aesthetic? What will this fit with? I guess you won't see it because other things will be covering up, but MSI. Huh? And that's what my wallet says when I say, hey, look at that Porsche, it looks really good. And my wallet says, huh? Because I can't afford a Taycan. Well, they're going to have an entry-level model coming up now, which is only going to start at $81,250 plus $1,350 destination fee, which is $24,000 less than the Taycan 4S. So it's going to be cheaper, right? It's not horrifically expensive, and it's going to have two different options for batteries, either 80 kilowatts or 93.4 kilowatts, and that will be between 268 and 300 miles of charge. But it's going to be no charge in my book, because I'm not gonna buy it, because it's not going to get charged to my account, because I won't have it. I hope you understand what I'm saying, and I hope that drivers help communication being understood between tech things. Segue to Shield TV now having support for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X/S controller, because the software update allows it, and now there's communication. You're welcome. And you don't have to communicate to Netflix anymore what you want to watch, because it's just gonna do it for you with the latest feature coming out soon called Shuffle Play, where it will just play whatever you kind of show that you're interested in. They're saying that it's not going to be completely random. It has to either be based on a show that you've already seen or in a genre that you've shown interest in. So according to the person who used it, that they got the Crown season 1 because they've watched the Queen's Gambit, which seems like they're kind of in the same type of genre. So Shuffle Play being tested right now, might roll out to you sometime soon, so you don't have to pick anymore. You could just let Netflix run on your television the entire time, and then only every few hours it's going to ask, are you finished watching? Yes, Netflix. I'm alone. I'm sad. I'm pathetic. I'm in the dark abyss of my own depression. Thank you, Netflix. I knew I could count on you to check in on me, because otherwise, who else is going to ask me? Nobody, because I'm unloved. That got dark. You know what's not dark? Today's video sponsor. You should go check out Chirp, because they're today's video sponsor, and it'll help relieve your back. Check them out, the link in the video description, my friends. And that's gonna wrap up this episode of Hot News. Be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed getting your tech news here. Get subscribed to continue to get said tech news, and I will tech news you tomorrow on Friday. I'll see you then. Cheers, friends.